Patriots Nation, the vibe in Foxborough right now is a mix of red alert and real hope. We just watched a young quarterback play at an MVP level, a defense uncover new weapons, an offensive line being rebuilt in the details, and in the middle of all that, a respected veteran might be on the way to fix the biggest hole on this roster. We've got record-breaking history, a hidden gem in the trenches, long-term planning, and a huge rumor in the secondary. You're not going to believe what we've got today, so sit back, hit that like button, and let's dive into it. If there was one game that changed the narrative, the future, and the way the league looks at a quarterback, it was that 33-15 win over the Giants. Drake May didn't just lead a dominant victory, he showed why he's entering that rare territory reserved for the great ones. It was precision, poise, quick processing, and that calm look that tells you nothing is going to shake this kid. For a second-year quarterback, that's terrifying for any defense on the schedule. He went 24 of 31 for 282 yards and 2 touchdowns, but the box score doesn't tell the full story. What really stood out was the control he had over the game. Every time New York tried to break the rhythm, May adjusted the protection, sped up his reads, hit the check down, or attacked the middle of the field with total confidence. He didn't look like someone just starting his career. He looked like a guy who's already lived a lot of January football. And then there's the detail that takes this to another level. With that performance, May became just the second quarterback since 1950, along with Dan Marino, to rack up 10 straight wins with a passer rating over 80 before turning 24. That's not a fun trivia note. That's an early sign of greatness. That's the kind of stat that drops you straight into the MVP conversation, especially when your team is 11-2 and sitting as the number one seed in the AFC. The AFC Offensive Player of the Week award is just the exclamation point. It confirms what Patriots fans have felt for weeks. Drake May is flipping from promising to special in real time. And when a quarterback reaches that level, everything around him changes. The playbook opens up, receivers get more confident, the defense plays looser, the whole locker room feels different. The timing makes it even bigger. The team hits the bye week with rest, better health, and a chance to tighten its grip on the division right after. A young quarterback, refreshed, leading the number 1 seed. Every other AFC contender notices that. But while the offense is humming with this level of maturity, there's a potential move on the other side of the ball that could reshape this team's identity. A shakeup in the secondary that has a lot of people around the league talking. If May is lifting the offense to a new tier, the defense might be about to add the kind of piece that decides playoff games. While the offense flies with Drake May, there's a loud conversation happening behind the scenes, and it hits the most sensitive spot on this roster. The true CB1. That guy who can erase the opponent's best receiver and unlock the full aggression of the secondary. Recently, one name has picked up too much steam to ignore. James Bradberry. The veteran, released by the Eagles, is being monitored by several teams. And the Patriots are naturally being mentioned as a possible landing spot if they decide to move. If you followed this franchise, you know this wouldn't be a normal signing. It would be an answer, a statement. This defense, as good as it is, still lacks that pure lockdown corner who can take a WR1 out of the game. Bradberry, even after a roller coaster stretch in Philly, fits that mold. Physical, experienced, smart, used to handling complex route combinations, and above all, a natural fit for a system that leans on reading and anticipating. Classic Mike Vrabel football. Context matters. Philadelphia reshaped its secondary after an inconsistent year, freed up money, and went younger. That left Bradberry on the market at a rare moment. Late in the season, with contenders looking for that final adjustment before the playoffs. That's exactly the type of window New England loves to explore. Not chasing headlines, but going after the right fit. So what would that fit look like? Picture Christian Gonzalez back healthy and establishing himself as one of the best young corners in football. Solid pieces around him, but no proven, consistent shadow guy. Bradberry would walk in as the veteran brain, helping with communication, matchups, and allowing this staff to lean back into more aggressive calls, more press, more disguise, more calculated risk. And there's the January factor. Bradbury has been on the Super Bowl stage. He's seen elite quarterbacks under the brightest lights. He's flipped games with one perfectly read route. For a team sitting at 11-2, trying to lock up the #1 seed, adding that kind of resume at this stage could change a playoff game on a single drive. So here's the question. With Bradbury free, affordable, and such a clean schematic fit, would New England really sit out? Or is Elliott Wolf lining up one of those quiet moves that only become real when the alert hits your phone? Because if this defense was already rolling, imagine what it could be with a corner of that caliber walking into the locker room. Some stories feel like they're written to become fuel inside a locker room, and Corey Durden's rise is exactly one of those. It's an arc that starts quietly and then explodes at the perfect time, changing the tone around an entire unit. While everyone debates the possibility of adding Bradbury, this defense has already found a new, underrated pillar up front, a guy nobody really valued until he showed he absolutely belongs. Durden came in through the side door. No hype, no expectations. He didn't make the first 53-man roster. He stayed on the practice squad, watching, learning the system, waiting for a chance many assumed would never come. But Vrabel saw something different. Another level of motor, another level of hunger. That spark kept growing until it was impossible to ignore. When injuries hit the defensive line and Khyiris Tonga and Milton Williams went down, Durden got the call. Not just to patch a hole, but to compete. To prove the tape from practice meant something. Under the Monday night lights against the Giants, he did exactly that, with a performance that mixed technique, discipline, and pure emotion. There was a personal edge to that game, too. The Giants had given up on him. They cut him before even making the trip to Foxborough, basically telling him he wasn't good enough. When the league hands you a chance to answer that on the field, it's up to you to be ready. Durden was more than ready. Vrabel admitted afterward how much that matchup meant to him, and how much Durden now means to this team. A roster chasing a Lombardi needs these warriors, guys who treat every snap like they're defending their own name. The impact was obvious. Steady pressure, power at the point of attack, burst through gaps, quick recognition in the backfield. He didn't just help suffocate New York's offense, he changed the defense's energy. And he did it in a critical stretch of the season. So now the big question. When Tonga and Williams are back, does Durden slide down the chart again? On a cold depth chart, maybe. But inside the Patriot way, that's not how it works. Vrabel trusts players who deliver when the season tightens. Durden has done exactly that. That's why, even as the front office looks outside for upgrades like Bradbury, the defense is also discovering internal pieces who might become unlikely heroes down the stretch. While all this defensive hype builds, Bradbury rumors swirling, Durden breaking out, the secondary possibly taking on a new look, there's one truth that defines where this franchise is going: protecting Drake May. When you've got a 23-year-old quarterback playing at a historic level, everything around him has to be built with that in mind. That's why Dane Brugler's latest projection hit so hard in New England. He has the Patriots targeting one of the most intriguing tackles in the next draft, Monroe Freeling, at pick 32. Freeling might not be a household name yet, but inside league circles he's seen as a high-upside prospect. Elite movement, natural technique, experience in a complex college scheme, and unusual maturity for a player with just 16 starts at Georgia. He's not just another lineman. He's the type you groom over a couple of years to become your franchise quarterback's long-term bodyguard. That matters even more when you look at the current situation at tackle. Morgan Moses has been one of the quiet home run moves of this last offseason. Veteran, steady, reliable. But he'll be 35 in March. He's still playing well, but time wins against everyone. Wolf and Vrabel clearly want layers of protection built around May, not just for now, but for the next decade. A talented rookie learning from a smart veteran. That's the blueprint for a sustainable contender. Now put all of it together. May pushing into MVP territory, Bradbury potentially walking in to lock down the back end, Durden solidifying as a real piece in the trenches, and on offense, a prospect like Freeling being developed without panic while the offensive line gains depth and identity. That's not luck, that's vision. And in an AFC loaded with pass rush monsters, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Chris Jones, Baltimore's edges, and more, you simply cannot contend year after year without tackles who can survive that kind of heat. With the right coaching, Freeling can become exactly that, a full-time starter, steady and trustworthy, growing right alongside Drake May. While fans obsess over what's happening right now, and they should, the front office clearly is playing the long game, drawing up how this team stays dangerous for years. Once you know you've found your quarterback, everything changes. And when you know he's special, you build around him without hesitation. Patriots Nation, look at how all of this connects. A quarterback playing at an MVP level, strong rumors about a veteran like Bradbury reinforcing the secondary, a grinder like Durden emerging on the defensive line, and a long-term plan to protect May with a prospect like Freeling. That's not an accident. That's construction. It's the return of a New England team that thinks big, moves fast, and refuses to be just another face in the AFC. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these stories boosted your confidence in this team the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ride with me. This season is just getting started for those who dream big.